The pandemic has impacted all walks of life. What has changed? What will stay the same? Or is it too early to tell?
This is UBS Trending Special Report. Back to life.
Hi everyone, welcome to UBS Trending. I'm your host, Wendy Mock. As part of a special series, we're speaking with people from various walks of life about how they're emerging from the pandemic. Today, we're speaking with business owners who run a Pilates studio in New York about how COVID has changed their business and how it's changed them as business owners. Return to Life Center is owned by Emma Canalisi, Gudjorg Arnalds, and Sarah Ramsey. Emma and Gudjorg are here with us today. A very warm welcome to you both.
Hi, Wendy. Nice to see you.
So we've actually been trying to film this segment since, it feels like forever, since maybe the end of November when it first looked like we might be finally getting past Delta. But then December, we were smacked by Omicron, and now it looks like we may be starting to get past this wave. But of course, we're still living with a lot of uncertainty. How has this persistent uncertainty changed the way you run your business?
Well, we started before COVID as a completely 100% in-person business, so we definitely had to pivot quite drastically. Because we are in a business district, we were, I would say, hit a little bit quicker than some of the residential areas. So we realized pretty quickly we had to pivot and we had to do it quickly. I would like to think that we provide a pretty high level of service, and we've been able to create a lot of relationships with our clients. So there's an inherent trust because of that. So our clients were very willing to kind of go along for the ride and learn with us, but it was definitely a steep learning curve. It was felt a little bit like building a business all over again from scratch, but we made it, we did it, and it happened.
I imagine that switch over to virtual couldn't have been easy given the personal instruction nature of having people come into the studio, and also Pilates itself depends so much on in-studio specialized equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that also part of our kind of business model is that we pride ourselves on specifics and getting to know our clients really well and being able to provide for them specifically. So I think for all of us involved, on both sides, both of the instructors kind of developing this new skill set of being able to learn online and also getting them comfortable. There was a steep learning curve, but like G said, I think we were really supported by our clients. And I think we also learned to not let perfection be the enemy of good, and to, give ourselves some grace and to keep learning as we went.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about the experience of getting or trying to access government funding. We've talked a lot here about things like PPP and more recently the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. Were you as a small business able to access any of these funds, and what was that process like for you?
The PPP loans were very, I would say, stressful. It felt the timeline was very restricted, and the funding ran out quicker than I think everyone believed that would happen, but it felt like it was a lot of things to figure out, and we were definitely feeling a little lost. And I wish we had had a little more support to figure those things out. The EIDL was much smoother for us, and we were able to secure some funding that we definitely gave us a welcome lifeline. But it was... Yeah, and I definitely think that it was definitely, I think also what G was saying is that it taught us to try and reach out, or to understand that we need to reach out to people to help us with areas that we're not experts in, that we probably could have done with a little bit more financial assistance and help to kind of navigate through that process, because, we weren't exactly sure what we were looking at, as I'm sure many people were. So that was a really good learning curve, and perhaps if we wish that we'd gotten on that a little faster than we did.
Mm-hmm. So learning...
Pilates, we know. Finances, we don't necessarily know.
Yeah. So getting the right people to help and not being afraid
Absolutely.
To outsource sounds like a big lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
And was there much of a time lag between the start of the process of trying to apply for funding and then actually eventually getting that and being able to put into your cash flow?
There was. the approval process was much quicker and smoother than I anticipated. And the lag time was actually in technicalities of being able to sign the loan documents. As soon as the loan documents were signed, we were able to get the funds very quickly.
So again, knowing the right people to count on to be able to guide you through that process sounds really important.
Yeah.
So touching on the concept of cash flow, once we move from this might be a 2-month thing to looking like it could be a very long-term or indefinite situation to be in, did you have to adjust your cash flow, or how did you manage your cash flow to live within that uncertainty?
We inherently are in a business that definitely goes in waves, both as far as the actual usage of people coming into the studio and as far as the cash flow coming in. So we're pretty used to kind of having to navigate that. We did explore with doing implementing more payment plans and more subscription series instead of just doing the traditional packages. And that has been successful to a certain degree. That's something that we had kind of started playing around with before the pandemic. So I wouldn't say that there was a huge change in how we conducted our business as far as cash flow goes.
But we definitely realized that our business was sustained by our clientele being really loyal to us, and that they were the people that wanted us to succeed. And we honestly would not have been able to survive except for those really loyal clients that stuck with us right at the beginning, which was both gratifying and really paid off, because that's what we think is important in our business model.
So it sounds like focusing on the quality of the client relationships rather than just getting quantity in and quantity of classes.
Absolutely.
I think there was definitely a certain relationship that was very important to the clients. And as much as they often at the beginning felt like they wanted to do their sessions because they wanted to continue to support us, they also found that it was really instrumental, especially at the beginning when everyone was sort of trying to figure their lives out, that it was really helpful for them to have that 1 hour to move and just focus on themselves.
Yeah.
And now 2 years, more than 2 years, 2.5, almost 3 years on into the pandemic, has this experience changed the way you do business in any permanent way? Are there lessons you've taken from the last few years that you think will stay with you as business owners going forward if we ever get to the post-pandemic world?
I think virtual is going to be a part of our business going forward. It's going to be a little less than what it was before, or has been over the last 2 years. But I think virtual is here to stay, which gives us the flexibility to work with our clients when they're on vacation, when they're traveling for business. It gives the clients the ability to work out wherever they are. So I think that's a really positive thing. It taught us as business owners. Go ahead, Emma.
No, I was going to say also additionally, understanding how we can utilize our space and initially we were looking potentially for different modalities that would support what we do as a business. And then we're kind of exploring at the moment the potential of a relationship with a company that produces Pilates equipment and being able to display that as well. So also looking for alternative ways that we can use the space that we have if we don't have the same demand at certain times.
Yeah, and diversify our business so that if there's a drop in one level, that there's a little bit more of a sort of other pillars to support it.
That's great. We hear oftentimes so much about the negative aspects, of course, of the pandemic and how it's impacted businesses in a very challenging way. It's great to see that in some ways it also forces business owners or helps them think outside of the box and expand their business models as well. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today. Guðbjörg and Emma, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Return to Life is a Pilates studio based in Midtown Manhattan. So thank you to both of our speakers for giving us some insights into their experience as business owners during the pandemic. The center is owned by Emma Guðbjörg and also Sarah Ramsey. And please reach out to your financial advisor if you have any questions or want any guidance for your business. Make sure to speak to your financial advisor and ask them what our UBS Business Owner segment can do for you. And also be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and check out past UBS Trending episodes on demand. Until next time, I'm Wendy Mock. Have a great day and keep your eyes on what's trending.